The Bible says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord. You think about it before you write. Thought of peace, not of evil, to give you an experience. He is sure of his writing. So God says, when I think it and I write it, sell it. So his word is exalted above all his name. The writings of God, strong. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 6 and 7 and 9. God writes. From the beginning, he writes. Hebrews 10, 7 and 9. He writes. They are strong, unalterable. You need to know your position inside it. Do we have it? We don't have it here. Jesus Christ is speaking in Hebrews chapter 10, beginning at verse 7, verse 6 and 7, and then verse 9. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin, thou had no pleasure. Now look at that scripture. The one who is speaking there is Jesus. They are referring to Jesus speaking. The one who wrote the book of Hebrews said Jesus was speaking, saying to God that in burnt offerings and sacrifices you have no pleasure. So Jesus speaking about God. Whenever you see Jesus speaking, you listen closely. The reason why I do that is because of his conversations. In the book of John chapter 3, verse 1 to 8, that's the first statement, and then another one, 9 to 17, book of John, to hear Jesus. What you're writing down now is to study how Jesus speaks and why he speaks the way he does, and John 5:39. But let's stay on this scripture that is on the board. He knows God. He said, no man has seen God at any time. The one who is speaking to you, he has seen him. So, the one who has seen God has authority about God. He is the one that has the most authentic report about God. He said, the one, you have not seen God. The man who met him in John chapter 3, he said, will I go back to my mother's womb and be born again? He said, I'm telling you anything you can't understand. What if I show you heavenly things? He has custody of heavenly things. He came from there. So he stands with God. He knows God. So when he says, I'm telling you about God, you listen. I've been with him before the world began. So I'm with God. So whenever God, Jesus speaks, he's the one you should listen to most. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin, you, talking to God, have no pleasure. Why? He knew God and he knows God. At this time, they were using animals. When you commit a sin, they have to kill an animal, use the blood as a sacrifice for your sin to be removed. So when he said, I was with you, look at that word had. Had is a past tense. In burnt offerings and sacrifices, God, my Father, you had no pleasure. I was with you as they were burning all those cattle, burning goats. You really had no pleasure. That was not your idea. You did not have pleasure in these burnt offerings. You had no pleasure. There's something else that gives you pleasure, and I know it. And nobody could fulfill what gives you pleasure. And I took it. Therefore, to verse 7. He says, then said I. Daddy, you remember? I said, look, I come. In the volume of the book, it is written of me to do thy will, O God. Jesus speaking. He says, in the volume of the book. What is the volume of the book? What is the volume of the book? In the